Mickey Truth Girl. Who qualifies her to put a work on these people?
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mickey Truth, aka the Queen of Paperwork, and I am back with another video. As always, all information contained in this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. All information used in this video is per the Fair Use Act, and any conclusion that you draw is on you, not me. So let's get it. Truth team, as I told y'all in my last video, I feel like C-Day is running rampant with this information he's dropping, or whoever's running his page is dropping, because he wants to bring awareness so that people can add fire under the appeals court to make a decision on his appeal. Okay. However, a lot of y'all haven't reached out to me and comment on my stuff asking me about the snitch allegations from RondoNumbaNine. And I'm just like, I never knew it was something that needed to be, I guess, elaborated on. So I decided to go ahead and do the video on it. A lot of people have spoken out, whether it's other bloggers or people around their group of friends or whatnot, including Buka 600, who basically said, hey, fuck all that shit, free both of them. I hope they come from up under their situation. So I'm sitting here, and I actually went back and shout out to Music 101, because I kind of talked to Music 101 offline, and I was just wondering, like, have we really came to the fact that this ish is just watered down like this, that people can just use the word implicate or snitching and people just run with it like that's what's going on? And I just got to just be honest about this. I really think is weird that's the narrative that people are running with, when in all actuality it's not even that. I'm just gonna be that, okay? But I'm gonna say this is definitely Mickey Truth opinion. Let's just go there. First and foremost, no statements, as I said in my last video, was ever discussed from RondoNumbaNine or C-Day, okay? They both stood trial together. They had multiple witnesses take the stand against both of them, okay? This situation wasn't that, oh, this person is a shooter or that person is a shooter. It was always alluded, right, that Rondo was the shooter per the court, because he was the one that ultimately got found guilty of having a gun. And of course, this is a shooting murder. So, I mean, you get found guilty of having a gun in a murder case, you probably are the one they're thinking is the shooter. Now, like I said before, I don't see how that came out to say that somebody snitched on somebody. And then someone actually had to come tell me, like, well, the appeal. Listen, when someone files an appeal, basically they're summarizing the information that happened at trial. So again, no information or evidence will ever introduced that neither one of them ever cooperated with the police, okay? So for it to be alluded that Rondo implicated C-Day, when both of them were found guilty based off of, for one, the evidence they had, for two, witness statements on the stand that didn't include the two. So no, the Queen of Paperwork is gonna definitely go with RondoNumbaNine didn't snitch, and I'm gonna say C-Day didn't snitch either. It's just that they were found guilty based off the evidence that they had. Now, what I want to play real quick, just so y'all can understand how the appeal go, for those who don't know, is some audio from C-Day's appeal. His lawyer is talking, so check it out.
Shooter. He went over there with them. He was right there when it happened, whether you accept that there was a muzzle flash coming out of his hand, whatever. They get back in the car and go back out, leave together. It's not like he just happened to be there and maybe knew this alleged shooter, the other defendant in this case. You're going there when it happens, leave together. Never made any attempt to disassociate himself from anything that you say he didn't sign on to. As if you have to sign on to anything.
Well, I think you have to do something in furtherance of the crime, okay, that was intended. And the crime that was ultimately committed was murder. And that's where I don't think the state provided the necessary elements under accountability as an accomplice, either the criminal intent, shared criminal intent of the principal, or the common design.
So again, they are already alluding to the fact that RondoNumbaNine is the shooter and that C-Day would have been the accomplice, okay? And this is based off of what they provided during the trial, the summary of the state's case, people, okay? That is how the appeal worked. You talk about what happened at the trial. You talk about, well, the state or the government portrayed that this person is the one. They didn't have evidence on my client. So I just don't know how that came out to be that Rondo snitched. That's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And by the way, the full audio of C-Day's lawyer and the stay and the all that at the appeal is located on my channel. The link will be in my description of this video. And matter of fact, let me play some more of it just so y'all can get an understanding of what's really going on. So with that being said, I'm out.
Believer, and that was the argument made to the jury, right?
Yes, and I believe, Your Honor, we cite a case where there's one witness, eyewitness in People versus Case, that is so unreliable, okay? This court has the opportunity to overturn that conviction if the testimony is based on one witness. In this case, there was one statement that she gave to the police that was inconsistent with her initial statement to the police right after the incident when she returned to retrieve the iPhone. She told the first time she told the police that it was a black gentleman with dreadlocks driving a minivan. And then when she was taken into custody, her first version to the police was that she wasn't there, she was with a friend. Her third version was Ely shot the dude, if you remember that in the testimony, when she was faced with being charged as an accessory to murder, and she was being held 72 hours. Her vehicle was being held as hostage. And then her fourth version was at trial, but she was under oath, and she said she didn't see who shot her.
Didn't know anything.
Didn't know anything. She just saw a flash and saw a dude jumping.
And
That
so
happens all the time.
But if this court's going to accept one witness, one statement, and when Ms. Herbert's testimony is it was Massey was the shooter, which is consistent with the video. Massey's testimony, or excuse me, Herbert's, what she stated to the assistant state's attorney is consistent with what is shown in the video. There was two individuals that approached the car. And she gave the statement to the assistant state's attorney. There was 4 or 5 shots into the car, which is consistent with the ballistic evidence that was presented by the state through their expert witness.
And so we've got Ely being on a speakerphone, and the people in the car recognizing his voice.
Correct.
When it was Ms. Johns said, "We got to go take care of this issue at the party."
At the party.
Then we've got him getting back into the car, or is it when they meet up at the gas station after, and he says, "Man down," meaning the guy's dead.
That was obviously after this.
So we're not just talking about Caprice Johns telling 4 different stories. We're talking about a lot of evidence about Mr. Ely's involvement in this murder.
Right, and if you believe that by him saying, "Where are you from? Man down," is sufficient to support a finding of that he was guilty of murder, I would suggest I disagree, respectfully disagree. The way Mr. Ely refers to "where you're from" and "man down" saying someone got shot, in my opinion, doesn't support a conviction for murder. What we've got is one person that gave one statement to the police that she gave 3 different versions of what happened. But what we have is Ms. Herbert, who also denied that either Ely or Massey was present at the scene, but then she gave a detailed typewritten statement to the assistant state's attorney, which is consistent with the ballistic evidence, and which is also consistent with the video. And then we've got a third occurrence witness, Jasmine Brown, who also did not see who shot the victim. So that, again, the only witness, or the only testimony, or the only evidence, I should say, that Mr. Ely was the shooter was Ms. Johns, who was in custody, had repeatedly lied to the police, and was threatened to be charged herself. Moreover, she denied at trial even seeing a gun involved in this shooting. And again, I know Your Honor has seen the video, but I think the video is consistent with Mr. Massey being at the window of the victim's car the entire time of this encounter.
But we're both at the window.
At some point during the incident, Mr. Ely steps back, okay? And Mr. Massey continues to stay at the window when the vehicle lunges forward and backwards, if your honors remember. We believe that the inconsistent evidence that Mr. Ely was the shooter warrants a reversal. Again, I've told you all the different versions that Ms. Johns gave to the police and to the trial court. Thus, we're asking the court then to go to the next stage of the analysis. Was there sufficient evidence to convict Mr. Ely under the law of accountability? Again, the law of accountability says that either before or during the commission of the offense and with the intent to promote or facilitate that commission, the defendant either solicits, aids, abets, or agrees to attempt to aid that person in the planning or commission of the offense.
But I guess I started out by asking you, he was only charged and the jury was only instructed on first-degree murder. They weren't given that instruction on accountability, and they weren't asked to find whether he was accountable for Massey's conduct.
I believe the state did argue throughout the closing argument that what Ely did, Massey is responsible for.
They certainly argued that they acted together, which is corroborated by the video, but the jury wasn't asked to find either one of them guilty on an accountability theory, were they?
I don't believe so, Your Honor, but I do believe they argued that throughout the closing, that they were one and the same. Mr. Ely was accountable for whatever Mr. Massey did, and they would not commit to who was the shooter. The state even conceded that in their brief.
Do they have to? What says that they have to commit to?
I don't. They have alternative. I think they can argue in the alternative, certainly. But I also suggest to Your Honors that you can consider alternatively that they failed to prove my client either as the principal or as the accomplice, as the state argued to the jury in this particular case. And if you remember, they repeatedly talked about what this common plan or design was. This was to go back to a party at Wentworth Gardens where to get at the girls, according to Ms. Johns, because some group of girls, pretty in pink, if you remember, played a...
Like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to pull up on your girl Mickey Truth. And as always, donations are welcome to support the channel. Hit the Cash App, Mickey Truth 2022. Holla!
Shout out Mickey. Mickey, you gonna be big. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to conquer the world. Coming from where I come from. They doubted me, but I came up.